What's up, Jackson? What's going on, Jackson, Mississippi? How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? I hope you had a good night rest. Well, we know what this is. Humpty Hump Day. You know what I'm saying? We got to get over the hump. Yo, it's the midweek. I hope everything's going well for you. Whether you're at work, coming home from work, or you're going to work. Whichever one. You know what I'm saying? You might just be sitting around the house, just chilling. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to say welcome to the show. Yeah, we're going to come at you with hopefully some good information, some good commentary, that we can deliver for you resident. I myself, the host, everything that I'm saying here is my opinions. It don't reflect none of the platforms that host, the 601 network. We gonna make this happen. What's that? But anyway. But like I said, everything on this end as well. I'm doing good, I'm still studying, still moving forward. We're doing what I'm doing and everything like that. We just, like I said, it ain't no cakewalk, but we're gonna try to make it happen. Hold on for a minute. Excuse me for a minute. Let me go turn my radio off. I'll be right back. I'm back. I'm back, beep, beep, beep. Back. All right. But anyway, yeah, I had to go to my radio comes on at this time, certain times of the morning, and we just kind of gotta get up and turn it off. You know what I'm saying? I hate that I have to do it in the middle of me taping, but hey, it is what it is. I'm human. It's not AI. So, but anyway, yeah, everything's like I said, everything's well on this end. We're still studying. We're still moving forward. I'm still studying this bash scripting. I'm still learning these functions. I'm still trying to move forward in doing what I'm doing. Because like I said before, you gotta have a skill. You gotta have a skill, something that nobody can take away from you. You know what I'm saying? In order for you to move forward. So nobody is coming to save you. The helping hand that you're looking for is at the bottom of your elbow. And that's the reason why I always kind of say, I harp on this all the time, because it needs to happen. We got to galvanize. Galvanization, organization, strategization, you know what I'm saying? And we got to have community, in our community. We gotta do this. We can't wait till them politicians come and do this for us. We gotta do this for ourselves. Because here's the deal: if they see us doing it, they'll fall in line. They got a lot going on here in Jackson. A lot. I'll be touching on it today. I'm gonna touch on a lot of stuff today. But the thing I'm talking about right now is just in the regular local communities. and then we all come together. All come together. Strategize, organize, and galvanize. Minds come together for one common cause. It's gotta happen. It has to happen. It has to happen. We already see what happened over there on the road of remembrance with the young lady Misfortune. Yo, I'm gonna be real with you. That should have never went down. If we had total control over our communities, that would have never went down. Because there would have been somebody monitoring that neighborhood. There'd have been somebody or something like a camera monitoring that neighborhood. That would have never went down. Let's call it what it is. We don't have control over our communities the way we should because we are expecting somebody else to come do it. If we galvanize to 1,000 people, and let's just say you got John Doe around the corner, and he a contractor, and he a big time contractor. He got a lot of bread, and he live right around the corner. He got a nice little spot, nice little house, whatever. And he, you know what I'm saying? But he a contractor, and he want to come in and he want to be a part of the community, right? Why would somebody expect for him to put up all the money? No, if it's 1,000 of us and we're all putting in $20 a month, he put in his $20 a month. He shouldn't have to pay nothing more. Nothing more. Because he's successful, financially successful in what he's doing. No. He put in his $20 like everybody else. And he shouldn't be expected to put anything more in. Just what you're required. Because he should be treated, the person who don't really have it should be treated the same way. We need to treat everybody the same. And that's only fair. That's fair and equitable. That's fair and equitable. And now we got control. Now we got control. Yeah, maybe he have some connections that probably can help us in in certain areas. Yeah, I mean that's welcome. But you're not expected to put up no more money. That's out. Maybe he might know a grant writer. He might know, you know what I'm saying? See, that type of stuff is important for when you galvanizing, because we all putting in our ideas. Yo, I know a grant writer. I know, I got a venue over here. I got a big spot where we all can galvanize at. Everybody's doing something different. See, that's welcome. That's welcome. Black folks, we gotta stand up. We gotta stand up. Look, y'all can call me what you want, but don't call me Colette. And white people can do it in their neighborhoods. They do it in the back doors of their homes. Don't you think they got communities? They got communities inside their community where they galvanize. Nah, we don't want that over here in our community. Nah, this section of the community, nah, we don't want that. The community is not for it, and so we're not trying to, we're gonna go out there. We'll fix our own pothole. Don't worry about it. We got our own steamroller. That's the way they do. That's the way we need to be doing. We can't depend on the city, because right now at this point, the mayor hollering the city's strapped for cash. They're gonna bring them data centers in. Moratorium, no moratorium, it don't make no difference. Yeah, I understand what Griselle was saying about the moratorium and everything at the last meeting. I get it, but he know it just like I do. It's gonna happen whether you like it or you don't. And see, I hear a lot of people talk about this voting, all about voting. We need to vote, and we need to vote in numbers and galvanize and vote in drones. I get that. I don't disagree. I don't disagree at all. The only thing that I say is when you vote, you better make sure, damn well sure, that that person that you're voting for ain't gonna go rogue when they get in office. And there'd be some telltale signs that they will. I'm gonna do a background check on them. I'm gonna do a professional background check, and I'm gonna do not a personal background check, but I'm gonna do a the street background check. I want to know what kind of person you are. I'm gonna sit down and break bread with you, because that's the crutch to this whole thing. You vote, and then the person get in, they do what they want to do. See, what happened to the does Jackson, Mississippi have? Leave me a comment, somebody. Does Jackson, Mississippi have a recall? And how long that process is? Because if you ain't doing what your constituents saying, you need to get on down. You need to be recalled. And we need to because if you had enough recalls, I guarantee you, the person who's being elected is running, they're gonna be, hey, somebody gonna get in there, they're gonna do right. Somebody gonna do right. So, I'm just planting the seed here. I'm planting the seed here. Now, as far as that meeting, I'm gonna tell you something. Like I said, I didn't stay the whole 2 hours, but Kenneth Stokes, Councilman Stokes, you was on the money on all points, 100%. I've been beating that dead horse for a long time. I'm tired of I don't beat dead horses no more. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna say what I gotta say, and that's that. I've been talking about getting the buses to go over into other municipalities for the longest. Why we don't have that? But yet they want to come up with this $1 million bus, make this hybrid bus situation. Man, please. So you were 100% correct. He was 100% correct when he said at that meeting, I don't see you putting $1 million bus on that street, and we can't go in other municipalities. Now I got to take some. He said, now I got to take somebody over into Madison to go to work. End quote. And we got $1 million bus on the street. And then MV Transport came in, changed up all the routes with no cost to the city, and then that right there took away a lot of the riders on the regular bus. Even right here in my neighborhood where I live, a lot of people can't take the bus because they gotta walk so far. Ain't nobody telling them to take these buses out the neighborhoods. The drivers wasn't complaining. What driver gonna complain? They getting paid. They gonna go where they sent. But everything Kenneth Stokes was saying, he was 100% correct. Let me tell you something. Right is right. Now maybe that was a little, kind of backwards. that they, you know what I'm saying, that Stokes and Foot, you know, did this, you know, tried to, you know, because the bus was already purchased, and they tried to, you know, reject it, but nah, yeah, but I understood the spirit of what they was doing, because apparently it hadn't got to their desk. See, apparently they didn't know about that. That was snuck in. See, this is how you know folks is doing underhanded stuff. They doing stuff behind some of these council members' backs, and then they come back, put it on the agenda, put it to the floor, and expect for them to pass it. Let's keep that a buck here. Hey, no, nah. Yo, look, no disrespect to Councilwoman Clay. Yo, Stokes shut it down, son. I'm glad Stokes had to shut that down. You know what I'm saying? Nah, that didn't come it didn't come across the desk. That's why they was talking about it. Nah, because they didn't know. So, but like I said, he was 100% correct. He was 100% correct. And then they were talking about how when they go to fixing these bridges and stuff like that, Jackson is paying 70% of the bill. When that's a state thing, and the state shut it down, the board of supervisors said, "Well, we're going to be in charge of that," but then the cities wound up paying 70% of it. Come on, man, make that make sense. If the city is paying 70% of what the state is, or what the board of supervisors is supposed to be doing, what we doing? Clinton ain't doing nothing. Because apparently Jackson is paying Clinton, is paying for Clinton too. And then you mean to tell me we can't get a bus out there for folks that go to work? You can't get a bus to go to Richland. Folks want to go to school, folks want to go to work. Come on, B. Fair and equitability is apparently it's not here. Not here in Jackson. Not here in Jackson. You think the mayor, the mayor and the city council just appointed, I can't think of the name of the fellow's name, my apologies, but the pastor over at New Horizon, they just appointed him chairman of the board of the JMA. The Jackson Municipal Airport Authority, right? They just appointed him chairman of the board. Well, we already know what that's about. He already got a seat at the table down at the partnership down there downtown with them rich folks down there. With them businesses down there. Was it Jackson Partnership or something like that? What it's called? He already got a seat at the table. So they made him chairman of the board because he gonna bring business. He a businessman. He already a bishop. That means he had churches. Churches. S plural. That means more than one. He a bishop. Man, I'm telling you, and that cat got businesses for what I did my due diligence. I don't know, I can't remember his name, but I did my due diligence on this cat. He got rental properties and all of that. He's a major player. Let's keep that focused. Let's keep that focus. He a major player, and I ain't hating on him at all. Cause I like to see brothers that's, you know what I'm saying, successful. And that's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying, merely saying is, you don't think the mayor already know that that municipal airport is on lock? The judge ain't haven't even deliberated, and they already making this man chairman on the board. So that means they already know that they done won this case. They know that. They know that man won this case. So like what man Dave Chappelle said, let's cut the malarkey. Yo, I'm just saying. But like I say, once again I said, Kenneth Stokes was he lying? Kenneth Stokes wasn't lying on nothing he said. Oh, and by the way, about that J-Tran, about that J-Tran resolution he put on the floor, he knew that thing wasn't gonna pass. That man been in this game better than 30 years. More than 30 years. He knew that thing wasn't gonna pass. He know what's at stake here. That cat knows what's at stake. He ain't stupid. He might not do emails and all that, all the new so-called new technology that he, you know what I'm saying, that we use every day. He may not do all that, but he ain't stupid. He knew that thing wasn't gonna pass. He just threw it out there. He just threw it out there, see if it'll hit. Real talk, you know, like when you when you just write some numbers down for the lottery and you just throw it out there and see if it'll hit. That's what, you know what I'm saying? That's what it was. That cat knew good and plenty what it was about. And all them folks come down there to make sure, try to, Scott Crawford, Dr. Scott Crawford and Lee Coles and Ollie Lester, shout out to all of them and everything for coming out there and making the statements that they made. But I respectfully say this. I'm gonna tell you just like this. If you're not paying attention, how you doing your due diligence? Because I promise you, I read the memo. I got the memo. Scott Crawford blew it out. And I read that document thoroughly. You read that document thoroughly and you doing some real critical thinking. And Lee Coles is a critical thinker. Ollie Lester is a critical thinker. Of course, Dr. Crawford is a critical thinker. You got 3 critical thinkers up there. And not one of them figured out that this was a ploy. Not one of them. I'm not trying to diss them. I don't treat no bad blood with nobody. I love them. I love all of them. Cause I understand. Cause I'm down with because I understand the cause that they was the reason why they got up there. And and let me tell you something. I applaud anybody to get up on that podium and say what they have to say. Because it takes guts. But what I'm merely saying is, they're critical thinkers. And you mean to tell me that document, they couldn't figure that out? Man, he's playing games. Because if that's a public document, then that's on record. J-Tran, MV Transport said that they are operating at a loss. Has nothing to do with the contract. I don't care what nobody say. You can call me whatever you want to call me, but don't call me Collect. 1-800-COLLECT call don't work no more. You think MV Transport gonna do this without getting something out the deal? These folks ain't doing nothing to kindness of their heart. And then on top, they done got some drivers from elsewhere. Man, they in it for the long haul, kid. And if you don't think so, you're going to be up for a rude awakening. Remember the 601 Network, Bill Jackson News. I'm telling you what it is. I'm telling you what it is. So, like I said, Kenneth Stokes was right. What was this sister, the comedian sister that came there? I wasn't there for the whole 2 hours. But that comedian sister that came there, yo, she was funny. She funny because she does like that little car commercial. And she had a, and be free. Yo, she funny as I don't know what. You know what I'm saying? But, yo, she made a statement. And she said, yo, it's real intense in here. It's more intense in here than... And yo, she wasn't being... That wasn't no joke. That's real. Because it is intense. It is very intense in there when you go there. When you go there and be there physically. You can feel the vibes. You can feel the vibes. But I just, like I said, let me tell y'all something. I'm going to land my plane on that one. But I'm going to tell you something about them data centers. The data centers coming. Moratorium or no moratorium. Them data centers, they coming. So, Griselle, look, I understand everything you said, bro. But let me tell you something. When the idea is determined, ain't nothing gonna stop. Ain't nothing gonna stop. They'll circumvent the law. They'll find a way to circumvent the law in order to get something done. Them data centers coming. They coming to Jackson. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't a ding dong thing nobody can do about it. But like I said before, if the residents say no, then they need to listen. We don't have a recall process. Because if there was a recall process, a lot of this stuff wouldn't be going down. I'm telling you. So, look. All I'm saying, you got a lot going on. Just like downtown. They trying to, like we was talking about the Pearl River, right? How the Pearl River, how they trying to do construction on the Pearl River. And they trying to, widen it out and do all these different things to it. Yeah. That's going to happen. It's going to be a downtown thing where you're going to be able to go on the Pearl and you're going to be able to watch it and be chilling and whatever. Oh, and they're going to put some resorts down there on that river. Somebody, Kenneth Stokes said something about a casino, whatever. I ain't hear nobody say, well, ain't going to be no casino down there. I ain't hear that. They're going to build it. It's going to be built. And it's going to be expensive. Let me tell you something. Like I said, you can call me whatever you want to call me. But anytime white people is dealing with numbers and the measures is where they at, the measures is high, man, it's going to be expensive. I'm just going to keep that a buck here. So really, what's that really going to mean for West Jackson? What's that going to mean for South Jackson? What's that going to mean? You know what I'm saying? Is it possible that they could possibly going to do eminent domain somewhere? Because if they can't find a spot for the data centers, and then on top, like I said, 2 things could be true at one time. They could do an eminent domain for that and for for what they're trying to do, because they're already trying to put apartments at the old YMCA. They're trying to put the guy talking about putting 700 apartments over at the Metro Center, allegedly. I don't know if that's going to come to fruition or not. But if that do, look out. Because, think about it. If you do eminent domain in certain areas where folks live in houses and stuff, say you want to develop that area, where you going to put them? They're going to go right to them low-income apartments. And the apartments going to spring up. You know why? Because you got to have somewhere to house the folks. Have them in one section, boom, over here. One section, boom, over here. You got the bus system right there, boom. Making it easy on everybody. Make it easy. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised they do an eminent domain even over here in a little spot where I stay at, over here in this area. I wouldn't be surprised. I would be surprised they go to Vernon Bishop, Washington Bishop. I wouldn't be surprised if over there by Battlefield Park they clear both sides of Battlefield Park. Over there where that industrial side is, and over there where that residential side is. They clear all that out. And put up expensive apartments. All the way downtown. And they put expensive apartments down there just to have and redo that whole, reconstruct that whole Battlefield Park. They don't lose it because you know that's a landmark. But they build that Battlefield Park like Central Park, some type of way. That don't surprise me. That type of stuff don't surprise me. 2 or 3 things can be true at one time. With these data centers and with this Pearl River thing they got going on, with all these so-called alleged resorts and stuff like that, and apartments and stuff, and then you got these low-income apartments coming. Some neighborhood gonna get an eminent domain. I bet you that. Bet that. Them folks, if them folks at Jackson State did an eminent domain over there in that area, what makes you think? What makes you think from the bridge on the Clinton Boulevard Bridge, all the way across Capitol Street, start right there at Bird Street, all the way up to Prentice. Come all the way over from Prentice, all the way back over towards Robinson Road. Back all the way down to Highway 80. What makes you think that they won't do eminent domain if it's necessary? I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm just saying this to aware you. Because I'm aware. What makes you think that they won't do that? What makes you think that they won't do some type of eminent domain? Because they're going to have to put these data centers somewhere. And they don't give a ding dong who they're going to inconvenience in order to get taxed down. We're already going to put you somewhere else. We're going to put you somewhere. We're going to put you in a lower income apartment. And you can stay there for the rest of your life. We already got the bus systems going over there. Boom, boom, get you to where you need to go. 2 or 3 things can be true at one time, Jackson. Let's cut through the chase. Let's get down to what's real. Look, I done seen it happen. They did it in Harlem. And Harlem was like Skid Row where I came from. I ain't bullcrapping. Man, listen. I know you probably don't want to hear it, but I'm going to tell you what it is. You need to hear it because if it happened there, it'll happen here. And don't think because it's up there, regardless if it's up there, I'm telling you, did nobody think that was going to happen up there? Because did nobody white want to cross 110th Street? That song that Bobby Womack made, that was meant for New York. That was made for New York. Because white folks couldn't even cross 110th Street. Coming uptown to Harlem, man, they get trucked up. Now, because when the train hit 96th Street, you could tell the demographic. On the number 3 line back in the days, all the white folks get up and they go to the 1 on the 9 line on the other side, on the local line, going on the other side, going on up there to Washington Heights. And it had been like that for years. Now, they be on 3 line, like black folks. But let me tell you what they did do that could potentially happen here. What they did was, they moved all the blacks out. They did eminent domain. Right? But how they did eminent domain, they didn't do it on the property. What they did was they went up on the rents. And everybody had to move out. They moved up into the projects, moved up somewhere where it was affordable, right? And they brought in all these big businesses. I'm talking about big businesses. Big businesses stayed in there for about a year. No bull crap. I ain't crapping. I ain't capping. I ain't crapping. They stayed in there for about a year. Right there on 125th Street. After they saw what was moving and what wasn't moving, the businesses moved out. And then they put in the business, because when they got the area stabilized, then they commenced on doing what they was doing. They was doing it, it's called area stabilization. The big businesses came in first because they thought that it was going to be high-end people coming in because they was fixing up the brownstones. But when it was stabilized, after a while, when the economy got stabilized in Harlem, those big businesses moved out. Disney World was out there, Jennifer Comfort, a lot of those spots, up to 20 was out there. Moved out. They revitalized certain areas. You wouldn't even recognize. I wouldn't even recognize if I could see. They built skyscrapers. But once they got that thing leveled out and stable, then the smaller type businesses moved in. Those commercialized businesses, some of them were still there, like Whole Foods. They was there. You know what I'm saying? They still there. But like a lot of other smaller businesses, that's when they came. I'm telling you. You don't think they'll do that here? You don't think they'll do that here? Money talks and BS runs a marathon. Money talks and BS runs a marathon. And they will step on any and everybody who they see. That's why I said, if you don't, that's why I said at the beginning of this, we gotta galvanize. Because if you got your bread and they got their bread and you already doing something, they ain't gonna trample that. You know why? Because you bringing in tax dollars, babe. See, this is what I'm talking about. You gotta understand, resident. If you galvanize and you already got a business going, for example, store down the street on Lindsay and Jane Avenue. Store ain't been open for months. maybe a year or so. If you galvanize and open up that store, what you just did, you just created tax dollars. Ain't nobody coming to take that away from you. You just created tax dollars. You got all these different other businesses. You got something like it's a front right across the street. There used to be a church, used to be a club, used to be this that. Turn that into a business. Turn that into a business. What was that club back in the days? Bad News back in the days that was on the side. Turn that into a business. You create tax dollars. Do you think the city is gonna eminent domain you? And you're creating a traffic of tax dollars? So I'm trying to. This is what I'm trying to get you to understand. It's going to create tax dollars. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. This is what I'm saying. You think they're going to do eminent domain? If you got control, nah, we're not going to touch them over there. We're going to, let's do this over here. Let's build this project, and boom, 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 boom. They might give you a seat. They're gonna give you a seat at the table. Say, okay, well, look, y'all can take this and take this, but leave this right here. Okay. Now, case in point, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna land my plane and I'm gonna get off. Got that old military base over there on South Drive, Officer Ketchum. Is any houses around there? That old military base over there. Back off it over there. Why can't you put it over there? Put the data center over there. But nah, see, you gotta have something. Why can't they open up Dixon Road? Open that son of a gun up, because it goes all the way from Clinton Boulevard all the way through Robinson Road. Open the sucker up, because the interstate right there. On both ends. It's too much like right. Open it up. Why can't you open it up? Open up Dixon Road. Oh, Dixon Road, call it another name. Make it a throughway. Because that's all it is, ain't nothing but a throughway. It's a throughway to Clinton Boulevard. Go, open that up. Everything coming off of 220 can go hit right there. Boom, it's over with. All the trucks, everything, infrastructure, everything right there. Go straight to the data center. Nah. What's up with that? What's up with that? Ain't nothing around there. What we talking about? Those mobile homes. Eminent domain them. Boy, I tell you the truth. It's all bad. It's all rough. You know what I'm saying? It's like right over here, right there at right there when you're going in on South Drive, when you're crossing over Dixon Road with South Drive from Officer Kitchen, and it picks back up to South Drive. All that area over there. All that country areas, all them trees and all that mess, man. Tell that, put a water wave over there for that data center. I bet you they're They'll put a data center somewhere else. They ain't even think about that place over there in that military spot. They ain't gonna touch the federal government. Makes sense. It don't make sense. But we want tax dollars. So that's just like I said, that's just these are my thoughts and opinions. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to come on here, share this for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Yo, it's a lot. It's a lot. Yes, it's a lot. It is a lot. And everybody, like I said, and we all in it together, Jackson. We in it together. So let's win it together. And the only way we can win it is we galvanize, strategize. You know what I'm saying? And memorialize our community. We need to memorialize our community, because the thing is that if we don't have control over our community, they're going to memorialize it. The partnership downtown, when it comes to business, they don't give a ding dong. They don't give a ding dong. That's why I said, if we galvanize and we got our bread, they gonna stay. They'll stay. Either they're gonna give us a seat, or they're gonna stay away. Cause we got control of this. Our tax dollars is here. What y'all saying? And we got traffic. What y'all saying? But we're springing up apartments in our own spot. Our own people. We got our own people in here coming in here and patronizing us. That's it for me. I'll land my plane. See you tomorrow.